Wow, what an amazing event today has been. Being a type 1 diabetic myself, listening to Mike's talk or finding out that, we can have a say in solving world hunger. And as I was listening to these talks, I started thinking, this is exactly what the Student Success Academy is. That we started searching into what has allowed some of our greatest leaders, some of our greatest influencers to become who they are. So we took a look at Martin Luther King, and what Dr. King had is he had a mentor. See, Benjamin Mays at the age of 14 showed Dr. King how to go about social change the right way. We can take a look at Oprah in her emotional reunion with her 4th grade teacher, who she credits with changing her life around. Or even Harry Potter and Dumbledore. Two HP shout-outs today, who knew? Would Harry Potter have been as successful without Dumbledore? And really the list could go on. We could take a look at Bill Gates had access to software when he was just 13, or Michael Jackson's choreographer actually showed him the moonwalk. And what all these individuals have in common is not only did they have someone personally investing into their life, but they met this person at a young age. See, Dr. King was just 14, Oprah in the 4th grade, and Harry Potter, of course, just a boy. And so we started taking a look at all these success stories through the lens of education. And a stat that really jumped off the page to us was that right now in America, there's one high school counselor. So one Benjamin Mays, one Dumbledore to every 500 high school students, which is about 38 minutes of personal time. 38 minutes to think about some of our biggest decisions. Think about choosing your spouse in 38 minutes, or even planning your next vacation in 38 minutes. And at first, we thought this was an economic problem. We took a look at figures like this one that the New York Times posted, that if you're a middle school student from an affluent area with below average test scores, you actually have a higher % chance of going to college than if you're low economic with above average test scores. See, in my family, it didn't really matter what kind of grades I had. I was going to go to college. My parents were going to provide. See, we just got done visiting with one of our dropout prevention schools. And what the director shared with us was that of their last 9 valedictorians, only one student has made it through a semester of community college. And it took me back to my freshman year and how when obstacles arose, I could call up my mom. I could call up my neighbor for a personal conversation about how to overcome those obstacles. But the problem is actually much larger than this. See, I remember when I was about 12, 13 and hit puberty, pretty much anything my mom and dad said went in one ear and out the other. I was not going to listen if you're over the age of 30. And this was not an economic problem. This was a generational gap problem. And if we dig a little deeper, we see that nearly 80% of 2011 college grads admitted they're moving back home. And even scarier figure is 80% is nearly the amount of Americans that are not satisfied with their job. Nearly 1 out of 2 18 to 24-year-olds is currently unemployed. So this is not just an economic problem, it's an education problem. How do we aid these counselors in guiding high school students to their next steps? We need to give these students their own Benjamin Mays, their own 4th grade teacher, their own Dumbledore. This is what we talked about out of McAllister's Deli back in 2011. And we started providing college students to high school students for one-on-one guidance. This is Edwin. Edwin is from Philadelphia. We were able to connect Edwin through the use of technology with a University of Oklahoma student. See, Edwin wants to be a tech entrepreneur. And he was able to go to a conference for free simply by volunteering at part of it and showing that he was motivated. Steps he would have never known without his college student. See, these college students solve 2 things. One, they're young and ambitious and they can relate to these students, but yet they're mature enough to guide them in their next steps. This is Edwin with the mayor of Philadelphia. We had students like Katie Sebastian, who wants to be a pilot, have the opportunity through the use of one of our college students' networks to watch a pilot land in her city, all through the use of Skype. This is Katie Skyping with University of Baylor student. And for the first time in these students' lives, they started to develop a vision for their future. And what everyone asks me when I share that story is, how do you get the college students to do it? See, we're currently at 5 different universities and we're trying to grow. A little over 100 college students, mentoring and consulting these high school students one-on-one. I believe each of them will give you a slightly different answer. It could be that they're first generation themselves, or they just want to make an impact. But I believe at the root of it all, to have the opportunity to impact someone's life and instill belief in a young individual's life that they can be a hero, that they can influence others. That's an opportunity we're finding no college student wants to pass up. So that one day we'll be able to create enough partnerships across America so that every high school student will have the opportunity to be consulted and build their own personal roadmap to living out a purpose-driven life. Thank you.